All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. It is episode 26 of the Model Mindset, and today we have a great topic on hand. BG, time to talk about social media.
Ooh, great topic.
Great topic.
Great topic.
Great topic.
Yeah.
And how I love how we got the topic of it too, because we use it so much now for the podcast, for the business, that we're learning new things all about it now. We're learning the right ways to use it, right?
Yeah.
And we're realizing how wrong we were using it in the past for our personal lives,
Yeah.
right? So it's funny that like now when we're looking back on what we used to do, we're realizing all of our mistakes, and it made us kind of go back and dive in a little bit and get some facts maybe and some stats on the mistakes that everybody's making with social media and how it really impacts everyone's lives. So gonna be a pretty cool topic today.
Yeah, I think the first thing that I noticed right away when we decided to make the Model Mindset podcast IG page was that we were using it for our business. We were using it to promote the podcast, motivation, fitness things.
Right.
So what we were following was all related to that.
Right.
And so we intentionally made it motivating with the people that we were following, whether it be self-improvement experts or fitness experts as well.
Yeah.
We were trying to learn.
Yep.
So anytime we hopped on there, it was always good news.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
My personal IG page was not always motivating.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So I actually don't go on my personal IG page as much anymore. And I'm sure my buddies would probably say, yeah, you don't, because we would always send IG stuff to each other and be like, this is you.
It would be like a meme or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now I don't go on it as much.
Right.
And it's because I think we're utilizing it for business purposes. We're trying to be creative.
Yeah.
We're trying to spread positivity now.
Right.
So that's the first thing that I noticed when we did that.
Yeah.
We're intentional about it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely noticed that I was not on mine as much. And I remembered why I took a break.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's talk about that.
All right.
Let's talk about that.
All right. So
when was this?
I took a break from social media about, I think, like January. I think I started. Like it was like right at the new year. And it wasn't like a New Year's resolution, nothing like that. It was just like,
so it's 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hopped back on in like late August when we started meeting. And I hopped back on simply just to kind of like promote some of the stuff that you were working on, stuff like that. And that's really all it was for. But man, when I stopped in January, I got rid of Facebook and I got rid of Instagram. And I only had Twitter, and I just use it for like sports. Like that was it. Like it was like my sports like news.
Yeah.
And still is to this day.
Yeah.
And but when I got off Facebook and I got off Instagram, I got off of it because like it was just nonstop either bullshit or negativity.
Right.
And this was before like my mindset kind of shifted. So I was realizing that then.
Yeah.
And so I was like so tired of like just like reading this nonstop negative stuff or like just phoniness, right? And it was just like, I don't want any part of this anymore. Like I don't, it doesn't, I don't care enough, right? And I wasn't like, between that and then me realizing that like I didn't even care about the stuff I was putting up, because like yeah, like pictures of my girls or like that's all cool, but like if I'm taking like videos of stuff that I'm sitting there going, who cares?
Yeah.
Like why was I doing
meat.
it, right? Yeah, smoking meat, baby. Like who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I just made the decision one day. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Did you find at all that you were comparing your life to potentially the other people that you followed?
I found myself resenting people.
Ooh, that's
instead of comparing myself to them. And people that I've known either for a long time or known for a short amount of time or don't know that well at all, right? But like everything in between, it was just like because of what is on people's stories and their posts so often is negative,
yeah,
or a comparison. It's like I found myself just being like resentful of them as a person because of their viewpoints or opinions and what they're sharing. And then that's when I was like, this is just distorting my mind here because like I don't think they're a bad person or you know what I mean, like whatever it is. So I was like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So, but that was great. I loved it. But
man, so
now
that was 8 months pretty much.
yeah, oh yeah,
Was it tough
a
at
full
first?
8 months. It was nice at first because I didn't find myself looking for my phone.
See, that's interesting because like I feel like I get agita
Yeah,
when I can't find my
it's
phone.
FOMO.
Yeah, but it's real, man.
It
It's
is,
real.
and it's real now because the way we interact with people,
Yeah.
and like the way people reach out to us or we reach out to them, and we're getting responses and having good conversations through our social media page.
Yeah.
It's fun now,
Mm-hmm.
and I look forward to seeing when we have a new message or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like nothing was fun about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it switched a little bit. But like, so for you, you've never taken a break from social media, right?
No.
Have you always had like the big ones like Facebook, IG, all that shit?
Yeah, I have. I've thought about taking a break.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that I am probably partially addicted to it.
Yeah, I think everybody is. Yeah.
And I mean, I'll just be very transparent. When I'm on a can, I could be on social media for a very long time.
Boy's getting hemorrhoids because he's on.
Let's be real. Everybody goes on their phone when they're in the bathroom, okay? And I mean, I could go. I could probably be done in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I start scrolling, mindlessly scrolling, and all of a sudden I'll be on there for like 10, 15 minutes with the marks on my legs. Everybody knows about the marks on the legs.
Front and back.
Exactly.
Some of your knees from
exactly.
the bowl.
Your freaking legs are asleep, and it's because I'm mindlessly scrolling.
Right. Right.
And for me, I just remember like before I was married, before I had met Val, like in Florida. And I think people that are single can probably, or were single, can probably relate to, maybe throwing out like the old thirst trap, if you will. Either a selfie or you throw out a good picture with a friend or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And you're looking at who's liking your stuff. And there's a dopamine rush with that.
Yeah.
You're conscious about the amount of likes that you're receiving.
Right.
Because it's almost like you equate your self-worth. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but you equate your self-worth with the amount of likes.
Dude, well, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think your confidence is based off of the activity you get on your social media generally, right? People, like you said, define their worth, right? Popularity,
yes,
all that stuff like that. It's based off of someone hitting a heart on a picture. Like, really? You know what I mean? And it's funny because now, like, what we're doing, we may chase that stuff now more so for the interaction part of it.
Yeah.
Right? We're like, if it's not liked, that's fine.
Right.
But like, we would rather have a conversation on the backside in a DM about something or whatever like that, or meet someone or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we're finding our fulfillment now, right? But it's because it's human interaction, which is the right way to use social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree because I found myself being jealous of what was missing in my life rather than being grateful for what I had in my life. And again, this is now changed.
No.
But I mean, there is still part of me, like when I go and see something on social media that maybe it's, oh man, that person has like a super nice house or a super nice car.
Right.
Part of me still wishes that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to be careful with the fact that I define my own success, right? And I feel that is where kids particularly can get caught up in a false sense of success because they're seeing what people are putting out on social media and saying this is what success looks like.
Right.
It's chasing money, chasing women, chasing men, doing all these things that may not give you the success that you're really looking for. It's a false sense of success.
It is. It certainly is. And it's funny that you mention, because even from our age group to age groups younger than us now, how different social media is to them.
Yeah.
and how differently they use it, right?
Yeah.
And like, man, the way things are posted online now, there's no privacy
at all.
Nobody has privacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have any kind of recognition anywhere,
mm-hmm.
but you're always under a microscope because at the snap of a finger, you can be recorded on camera, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's all these fucking kids do. And I sound like a boomer right now, but it's true. Like, it's just nonstop recording.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and that's fine because that's life now.
Yeah.
And I don't begrudge anybody for it, but I begrudge people for it when you're broadcasting you making bad choices.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I mean, you see that all the time with sports athletes.
All the time. Ja Morant.
Unfortunately, Ja Morant, that was a terrible decision. Still a young guy, a lot of money.
Right.
Made a bad decision. Hopefully, he learned from it.
Yeah, that dude's going to cost himself $38 million for that because he's not going to make All NBA.
I mean, that was a dumb decision.
$38 million.
Yeah.
To flash a gun on IG Live at a strip club. What are we doing?
Not the most intelligent decision.
You know what I mean?
But now I'll say this too, and I know we talked before this. You said you have not watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix.
I have not, no.
Which I highly recommend. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's a documentary. In that documentary, they have like a pretend family, if you will.
Yeah.
To where the youngest daughter, who looks to be probably around maybe like 12, she's trying to post a picture of herself, a selfie, and she finally, doctors it up and posts it.
Yeah.
And she receives a couple compliments right away. And then there's this one comment that says, "Can your ears get any bigger?" Something to that effect.
Right.
And then like an elephant picture emoji.
Right.
And it was so telling because she then was like covering her ears. And it was one bad comment compared to like a couple great compliments that she received of how pretty she was.
Right.
But it was that one negative compliment or that negative comment.
Yeah.
And so she's like crying in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
And that was very powerful. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to do some more research. We normally do research anyway for these pods.
Right.
But I found this extremely fascinating.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so what I found is that, now this is from the Pew Research Center.
Okay.
And it was in 2015, 92% of teens and young adults owned a smartphone. Now they said, however, as a smartphone use increased, so did feelings of depression. So there's already a correlation.
Okay. Yep.
Now the study said in 2017, a study of 8th to 12th graders found that high levels of depressive symptoms increased by 33% between 2010 and 2015. And the suicide rate for girls in that age group increased by 65%.
God.
And it got worse. Child suicide rates increased by up to 150%, and self-harm by girls ages 10 to 14 nearly tripled. And these patterns all point to social media. Now that's just fucked up.
Dude, it's heartbreaking.
It's sad.
It's heartbreaking.
It's sad, yeah.
It really is, because
and we both have young kids.
Exactly. What our minds go to is our own children.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But even other people in our lives, right? Mm-hmm. I have people who are close to me and who I'm close to that are in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I think about this stuff with.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's where,
like, you see their phones too. Their phones are attached to them
all the time.
They can't look up and make eye contact to you.
The way people communicate now, is there's a discomfort in having interaction in person.
Yeah.
And I like through work and stuff, I can recognize that with younger people that I may interact with at work, whatever it might be too, right? So it's like that stuff is so prominent now. But like going back to what you were saying, those stats are only going to get worse.
Yeah, because technology is only going to get better and crazier.
And also, my thought process now is this. So social media uses algorithms.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So something gets posted online, you like it, that platform feeds you more of it.
Oh yeah.
Everything's
negative
posted
or
online.
positive.
Negative
Oh,
or
yeah.
positive, right?
Yeah.
So when these kids are putting up videos, and I keep using kids, and I don't mean to generalize, but when anyone's putting up videos, say of a fight they got into, post it, it gets liked. What do you get? More fight videos, more violence, more of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
These things will accumulate and build up on your timeline in your social media page, and then that's what your page is.
Yeah.
Your page is just what the negative crap that you build up, and it builds a mindset and a mind frame in the individual, which then they put out to everybody else.
They use your own psychology against you.
Perfectly said.
You know,
Perfectly said.
It's addiction and manipulation.
Yeah.
It's you know, we had made the decision actually Sunday night
Right.
to do social media.
Yep.
Oh fuck,
No, you're good. You're good.
We had made the decision on Sunday night to do social media.
Yep.
It was a couple topics that we had down.
Right.
And it was interesting because we had gotten together with my family on Sunday to celebrate St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was giving my brother-in-law some shit about him being on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, put your phone down, put your phone down. And now he just grabbed his phone real quick and was checking it. And so now I knew he was being facetious, but he's like, oh, I'm so addicted to it. But I touched on this earlier. I definitely do think that I am addicted to it. And I can see others being addicted to it as well. A good example is, and we probably said this on the podcast before, you go into a restaurant, you see two people on a date.
Right.
You see them both on their phones.
Right.
Rather than having a stimulating conversation.
Yep.
Right. Another good example, how often do we go somewhere and when we feel uncomfortable, it's just ourselves, we feel uncomfortable, we take out our phones and we use it as almost like a digital binky. And I say binky because Charlie uses a binky.
Right.
But we use it.
It's like a fence. It's like a guard.
Exactly.
That stands in front of you.
It's almost like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to have any conversations or don't disturb me.
This is me showing you I'm not interested.
Yeah, or I'm important.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like it's tough, man.
Everyone does it.
I'm guilty as fuck.
Me too. Yeah, everyone does it. You know what I mean? So it's like that second you just like have a moment of panic, of interaction or
awkwardness
or stress or awkwardness, the first thing you do is reach for your phone.
100%. And I do it now to where, like when I'm working from home, all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, I haven't checked social media in a while, and I just jump on.
Right.
And I'll mindlessly scroll.
Right.
So it's dangerous. I think social media, when used for good, has a lot of benefits.
Right.
Especially when you're in a business, you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to further your business, it can be used for good. However, if you are not intentional about it, if there's no guardrails in place, it can have a negative effect. And we just went through some of the statistics that we're seeing specifically with younger kids.
Yeah, man.
We're seeing huge issues.
Yeah.
And I have been very transparent with, I know that it's a problem for me.
Right.
I think I'm better with, the biggest difference has been the Model Mindset podcast page with all the positivity and me having that awareness now.
Right.
But I'm also making other decisions to put down the phone, be present with my family, be present with my wife more, and having that that know-how to say, all right, I'm not going to go on social media.
Right. Right. And like if you have kids, like your kids notice it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's the biggest like punch in the gut sometimes when your kid says, put your phone down.
Ooh, that's bad.
Because it's like, damn, they realize that you're not like being like present and aware with them.
Yeah.
And sometimes shit happens and you got to take care of something real quick. And they don't understand that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if they're saying it and you're on, you're on your fifth reel about how to save space in your closet, well then like shit's a little backwards. You know what I mean? So Like,
well, look at Lori Singer when we had the podcast interview with her.
Yep, great episode. Check that out, Lori Singer.
Yeah,
great episode.
When she was talking about how a parent came in and would say how their daughter or child, all they do is be on social media.
Yeah.
And Lori said, well, how is your social media usage? And she said, oh, well, I could be off it more.
Yeah.
She's mirroring, you're mirroring that. The child is seeing that. So it's almost like they're saying, well, I know it's acceptable behavior.
Right.
Right. Today, like, it was a beautiful day today. And so I texted Val and said, hey, want to take the boys to the park after daycare? It was awesome.
Yeah.
Neither of us had our phones.
Yep.
We went there completely present with both boys. We're chasing them around the playground. They loved it.
Yeah.
And they were exhausted after bath time.
Yeah.
But we were present in that moment.
Yeah.
And you could tell those are the memories that they're going to enjoy, but also like we can reflect on as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you hit the nail on the head is what our kids see. If we're always on our phone, if we can't give them the attention, they're going to copy and emulate that behavior. You know?
So you had a good question in this, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's a good time to bring it up now.
Yeah. Want me to fire? Let me fire it at you. Let me fire it at you.
All right. Okay. You got to answer it too, though.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Do you have concerns with your girls and how social media could influence their lives?
1,000%. 1,000%. So, and I'll try to keep it short here, but I'll give an example of like how I can already have seen it affect my kids and other kids, right? So kids have every kid has a tablet now for the most part, right? Like it's like their phone, right?
Yeah.
But with that, there's different things they can do on it, games, whatever it is, right? But they have also access to like YouTube videos on these tablets and these devices.
You're right.
And these kids just rip through these videos.
Yeah.
When they're like 2, 3. And Danny and I used to be guilty of that.
Yeah.
Where we would let them watch, and it's stupid videos of
dude.
like other parents running around the house dressed as whatever. You know what I mean? Like just
yes, I know exactly.
Monetizing their children, and good on them for making 28 M's off of them. But like, but like, we used to be like, all right, that's fine. And then we would see when their behavior would change because of those videos, right? Or because of that tablet time, whatever it is. And it was kind of just like, okay, we're not doing something right here. Like there's too much leeway now. So now they don't have that anymore. They don't have access to all those videos anymore, right? They have their tablets still. They have their games, and they can watch Disney and stuff like that, whatever it is. But their time on their tablets is limited, right?
That's huge.
It's big. And we don't have like a timer or anything like that, but we can just tell, right? Yeah. And it's tough in the winter months, right? Because you're outside, much less than you are, right? So, but we still to this day can see, all right, maybe you had a little bit too much screen time today. Okay, maybe you were on it for the last half hour doing your puzzle or whatever it was, but like still like you got to come off it now.
Did they get pissed when?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But back then they would, right? Yeah. Now they're kind of used to us being like, all right, done.
Yeah.
So that's how it's already been affecting them, right? Now let's fast forward, and like I talked about, I do know people who are in high school now and stuff like that. Everything's recorded, and things are done to be recorded.
Yeah.
Right. So like having like raves in the school bathroom is happening just so someone can take their phone out and record themselves doing it, right?
Yeah.
Fights, whatever, like sending pictures, all these things that like you should not be doing.
Remember when eating Tide Pods was like the rave?
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
just
dumb.
Darwinism at its finest. But you know what I mean? Like all of that, right? People do things to have it recorded.
Yeah.
And so I have 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be teenagers, right? You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do things that every teenager does. I understand that, right? When the time comes, go to your mother, girls. But but I cannot like wait for Danny and I to be able to sit down with them and talk to them and be like, you cannot put these things on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like now decisions that we made when we were 13, 14, 16, 17, right? That shit wasn't recorded.
No.
And that shit that didn't
Very lucky.
affect
Yeah.
our professions, right?
Yeah.
Or like even what we were doing now. Imagine if some stuff came out about whatever that someone did when they're trying to start a business, right? People use that stuff against you now.
Right. 100%.
So like, right or wrong, but like stuff always comes to light. You know what I mean? So like, listen, you need to make good example with your friends' parents because they don't need to see you as a troublemaker or as a this or a that because of something they saw online.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's real.
Yeah.
And like I fear for that for my girls. Yeah. Unintentional or intentional, like please make the right decision. You know what I mean? Like do not put yourself out there like that.
And you can only guide them so much. Too.
Right.
At some point, they have to know what decision is right and wrong.
Right.
You know, which is tough.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, you have 2 boys, right?
Yeah.
And I feel, listen, girls and boys are very different.
Yes.
Very, very different.
Yeah.
Okay. So I fear for my girls from a sense of like things could impact them in a much more severe way than it could impact a guy.
Would you say your concern is more for their safety?
Well, certainly their safety, yes.
Yeah.
Their just how they're perceived. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the perception because of a stupid mistake they could make worries me, right? But like a guy could bounce back from that.
Yeah.
And not to say women are weaker and like that, but like we're just dumb and we're just like, you know, no big deal, right? Like we'll get over
dumb
it, right?
Decision.
Dumb decision, right?
Yeah.
A girl could be more prone to just have that really impact her life.
Hate.
You know what I mean? And that sucks for them. Yeah. You know, so and not that it can't happen to guys, but I feel like it may be more prominent and prevalent in a girl's life. So with 2 boys.
Yeah.
Is that something you think about? Like I know they're still pretty young now, 1 and 3. So like you're not getting it anywhere near that, but like when you're thinking about all this, like what are you thinking about with the boys?
Yeah, you know, Val and I have had conversations about when to get them phones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And my thing is, hey, it's only going to be call and text because I don't know if they would be mature enough to handle a phone at a very young age that it has Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff.
Right.
Because again, like we were talking to before, they're going to start following people that could have negative influences on their life.
Yeah.
Promoting negative consequences.
Right.
We just said the Tide Pods thing.
Yeah.
Like, that is fucking stupid. I'm sorry. That is fucking stupid that you're trying to eat these things.
Right.
Do you know what's in them?
Yeah. Right.
You know? And it's like people were doing it and getting sick and dying.
Right.
Yet they continued to do it because they were trying to get likes.
Yeah.
Which means they're trying to get that dopamine
hit.
And so with the boys, I'm fearful, like you were saying, I'm fearful that they'll make a wrong decision for likes on or follows on social media.
Right.
Rather than really just enjoying life. I mean, if we could go back to when we're talking about ages that were, you know, depressive disorders, it was, you know, 10 to 15 years old or 10 to 14, and then it was 12 to 17 to study. Man, we were riding bikes. We were enjoying life. We didn't have a phone attached to us.
Right.
We weren't taking pictures. We were living in the moment.
Right.
And my fear is for my boys that they are going to miss out on that because they're going to have social media dictate so much of their life rather than enjoying the life that they have with their friends.
Right. And you know what's interesting too is like that what we want for them, that scenario makes them the outcast. Yeah. That makes them the weirdo.
Yeah.
If they weren't to have their phone or to, you know what I mean? Like which is so crazy, right? So like that's another hurdle because like you want, like that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But in their world, it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah. We're going to be called an asshole. You know, we're strict parents. But
exactly.
And I understand that we can only shield them, and I don't mean to say shield,
Yeah.
but we can only guide them
Yeah.
so far
Right.
to know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
At some point in their lives, it's their lives. They
Exactly.
have to make decisions on their own.
Exactly.
But knowing how powerful social media is,
Mm-hmm.
I know that we can have at least a positive influence
Yeah.
in just educating them on the dangers of social media, understanding that, hey, you define success. Don't let this influencer
Right.
who's flashing money,
Right.
who's rapping about pimps and hoes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and dumb shit. Define it on your own terms.
Right. Exactly. And that now to kind of switch it back to who our audience is,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the people who listen to this would be, so what can you do then, right? Because you're so entrenched in your social media
Yeah.
and who you follow
Yeah.
and how long it would take to unfollow said accounts that you think maybe are unproductive now, right?
Yeah.
And that's what was great for me when I took my social media break, was because I permanently deleted my accounts. So I had to start new ones.
That's awesome.
So, or at least for Facebook. For Instagram, I think I could jump back onto that one. But for Facebook, I had to start over.
Oh, shit.
Right? So it was like, it was nice to be able to kind of cleanse that.
Yeah.
And pick what I wanted at that point, right? But where we are as adults and everyone listening to this, make that effort to clean your social media up.
Spot on.
Change your algorithms, right?
Yeah.
So make an effort now.
Yeah.
If you're noticing the stuff that you're following isn't maybe productive or whatever it is, or the reels that pop up because of the algorithms that they're giving you,
Yeah.
maybe start liking some different things.
Yeah. Be intentional. Be
Exactly.
intentional.
Do it on purpose.
A good example is, so I talked to my buddy JJ from Nichols the other day, and so he had always wanted to start a landscape business. A good example of this is to scrub your social media.
Yep.
And start following people that are in that industry.
Yeah.
So that you can get creative ideas.
For sure.
I guarantee you there are people out there that can give you helpful information if you're looking to start your own landscaping business.
Right.
To start with either like a push mower and just focus on
Exactly.
lawns, or hey, go to Facebook Market, get a cheap trailer, start doing something like that. That is the type of stuff that could fill you with creative ideas to really start doing something that you've always wanted to do.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
So that I love that, because that's 100% true. So other things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we do have, I think, some good talking points for other things that we can do